You're listening to Daventry Radio, connecting your community.
Last Thursday, village halls, schools and various other buildings up and down Britain were utilised as polling stations for the local elections. 12 wards were being contested for the Daventry District Council. I asked Ian Vincent, the returning officer who was in charge of running the election, about the process behind it.
Obviously all day, polling stations have been open since 7 this morning and just closed at 10 o'clock. What we're doing right now is all the polling station boxes are coming back to the central count position, which is here at the Leisure Centre in Daventry. Basically, most of the district has got potentially 3 different processes going on. Process to elect a police and crime commissioner. There's a process to elect 12 out of our 36 district councillors, and a process in 3 parish councils to elect a parish council. So all of those boxes, of which we've had 81 stations open today, they're being brought back here now, and obviously with such a large district, it means that some of the boxes are coming from quite some distance away. So that'll be happening during the next hour or so. And our first job this evening is to verify that what each of the polling station staff think is in the box is actually in the box. So we're just checking that the numbers tally with the number of vote issues. So if that is equal, so the number of papers we've issued equals the number of papers we get back, we're good to go. As the evening emerges, so we'll start seeing what the turnout's like, and we'll be seeing what sort of voting patterns we're getting across the district.
Reporter for Daventry Radio, Liam Howley, and I arrived at the Leisure Centre at 10 p.m. We were led to the Saxon Suite, where the guests and candidates would later be sitting to hear the announcements of the election results. We were asked to sit in the media area as bona fide reporters, which neither of us, quite frankly, felt we qualified as being labelled as we had never been to an election count before, let alone reported on one. Fortunately, though, to put us at ease, we were joined shortly by James Bryce, the reporter for the Daventry Express, and Sam Reid, one of the political reporters from BBC Northampton. Both of them gave us some helpful tips on how to report on the election count. It was a long night. At times I caught myself yawning and wondering whether I'd actually make it through to the end. James Bryce, who has reported on many an election count, had come prepared with a bag full of sweets, chocolate and sandwiches to keep his energy up. I followed suit and popped to the local petrol station to get myself a pack of chewing gum and an energy drink, which gave me a much-needed sugar rush. A couple of hours later, things started to liven up.
I, Ian Vincent, being the returning officer of the above election...
There were few surprises from the results. Daventry in the district has long been a Conservative stronghold. There are a total of 36 seats on the district council, and before Thursday's vote, there were 31 Conservatives, 2 Labour, 2 UKIP and 1 Liberal Democrat. The council following the election is 30 Conservative, 3 Labour, 2 UKIP and 1 Liberal Democrat. The leader of the Conservative Party on the District Council, Councillor Chris Miller, was pleased to be re-elected. Congratulations, Mr Miller, on being re-elected. How do you feel?
I feel very happy, actually. It's obviously a great privilege when the public vote for you. So in Longbuckby Ward, I had a resounding victory tonight, which I'm very grateful for, and it obviously makes me more determined to represent the interests of Longbuckby Ward residents, as I have done for many years, even more so. So it's a real privilege, and I never take it for granted. So it's a real honour, and I'm very grateful for it.
This year was the first time since 2002 that there was a Liberal Democrat standing for every ward. But despite this, they did not win any new seats, but Councillor Catherine Lomax held her seat for the Barbie and Kilsby ward. I asked 24-year-old Callum Batchelor, the Labour candidate who was standing for Weedon Ward, why is it important that young people get involved with politics?
I think it's massively important because, there's nothing wrong with all the rest of the electorate, obviously, but without the younger voice, then you're sort of 20 to 30 years behind, in a way, if you don't bring it in, because they're in touch with a whole range of issues that possibly the rest of the electorate aren't. So, I don't think it could really be any more important. One, for fully representing the community, and 2, just because there's those issues that you're missing.
Labour councillor Wendy Randall, had a comfortable win for Drayton Ward. Liam interviewed her after the votes were announced.
Councillor Randall, how does it feel to be re-elected again for the Drayton Ward?
Absolutely ecstatic. You know, it is absolutely amazing. I've had so many people this year request me as friends on my Facebook page. They like that I'm very open and honest. They like the fact that I ask their opinion on things, which I think is really, really important. You know, they let me to be their representative. They trust me. And obviously that showed in that result today. So, you know, I'd like to thank all those that turned out, you know, today. I've had a lot of turned voters as well. I've been messaging me and phoning me over the last few weeks to say that, Wendy, you know, you listen. We're switching our vote because you listen. So absolutely buzzing.
New Labour candidate Jason Pritchard retained the seat on the Braunston and Welton ward.
The villagers of Braunston and Welton have voted for the same values that we all share. It was a close-run contest. Tim's campaign was very fair, as was the Liberal Democrats' campaign also. I'm just delighted at this moment. It's hard to put it into words.
Abigail Campbell was the former Labour councillor. You were the councillor for Braunston and Welton ward, but you have sadly had to step down due to, I believe, personal reasons. But what would you like to say to your successor?
Oh, I'm delighted, absolutely delighted. I was so pleased for him. He's done a fantastic campaign and he's going to be an absolutely brilliant councillor when he's in post. And I know he's going to represent people of Braunston and Welton really, really well. He's a very caring and compassionate person and I know he'll look out for the interests of people who need his help most.
Self-confessed political maverick Tim Wilson, who previously stood as a parliamentary candidate for UKIP in South Northamptonshire, until he resigned after revealing his hidden agenda was to expose what he felt to be the party's racial bias, then stood as an independent candidate for Drayton Ward, but this time round he was standing for the Conservative Party for the Braunston and Welton Ward. He was, however, not all that sad after not winning the seat. Sadly, you have not won the seat for the Braunston and Welton ward.
Oh, it's not that sad, really, is it? Is it that sad? Jason's a good man, and he's following in the footsteps of Abigail, who sets the formula for what a good councillor should do. There are many things that Abigail has done which are spectacular. Her walks around the ward on a regular basis. This is what all councillors should be doing.
And do you think you might stand again for a different party?
No, I am a Conservative. I'm a little bit wet, but I am a Conservative. I've never been anything else. I believe strongly that what we do socially is very important, but we have to have the money to do it. It's what Mrs. Thatcher said. We only know of the Good Samaritan because he had money.
Ken Ritchie, whose sartorial choices for the evening was a bright red jumper and matching red corduroy trousers, which no doubt had some political significance, was nervous about the Labour Party losing seats on the Daventry District Council. I interviewed him at a very tense moment when the Conservatives had asked for a recount on the Abbey North ward, which he was standing for.
First time round on the count, I'm ahead, but it is close. So I'm not counting anything until they have gone through the process and it is formally declared. But, you know, the fact that it is a recount, there's a 27 vote difference in the first count. If that stands, of course, I will be delighted. I would have preferred a majority of 270 to 27, but it wasn't going to be. Elections can be tough, but there we are.
If you're not successfully elected this time round, are you going to stand again?
Well, I always think this will be my last as the years move past. But, you know, who knows? Who knows?
But Ken Ritchie defeated incumbent Councillor Chris Long to gain one seat for Labour. Congratulations, Mr. Ritchie. How do you feel?
Thank you. I feel very, very happy. Clearly, it has been a very tight election. I recognise that Chris Long is somebody who has served the ward for 10 years, and I believe that he has respect across the political parties for the work he's done. But I think that this victory is much more to do with the plans for a canal arm and the plans for building an Eastern Wee field, and these things have provoked a lot of anger, and I think that it is really that proposal that has given me the seat.
And final question, How are you going to celebrate?
I think I'm going to go to bed, but before doing so, I think I have quite a nice bottle of whiskey in the cabinet that I'll have a good dram tonight.
To show how significant this gain is in the wider spheres of British politics, John McDonnell, the Shadow Chancellor of the Labour Party, had a piece published in the newspaper 2 days after the election, where he mentioned the party had gained seats from the Conservatives in, quote, places like Birmingham and Daventry, and from others in Sunderland, Cambridge and Newcastle. I interviewed Chris Long after the announcement. Commiserations, Chris. How do you feel?
Disappointed. I've been a councillor for 10 years. I've served Abbey North. I think we've done a good job for residents. So from that point of view, disappointed not to be able to continue. But there comes times in life when changes occur. Sometimes not of your own making. In this particular instance, not of my own making. I'll seek to do something else to offer the facilities I had to other people. I wish Ken the very best of luck. I hope he's able to continue with the work that we've started, because Abbey North deserves a councillor that will work and deliver the results that they need. I wish him the best of luck in trying to achieve it.
If you want to find out more about the election count, you can go to the Daventry District Council website, which is at www.daventrydc.gov.uk.